Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
Sure. They took the lift to level 5. Rows of professional deep-sea diving equipment caught their eyes. "Do you always come here?" Nicole asked Jared. "Sometimes." "Is this your first time going deep-sea diving?" Jared stared at Nicole, who was choosing the equipment seriously. "I used to dive at the diving area. This is my first time going deep-sea diving." Nicole stared at the attractive deep-sea diving equipment. "Looks like you're attracted by the equipment." "Yes. I'm very excited now." Nicole examined the equipment carefully. "Let me help you to put them on." Jared picked up a set of equipment as he walked toward Nicole. They were suited up after a few minutes. They then went to the diving preparation area. "We can only communicate via sign language when we're under the sea later. Stay close to avoid accidents," said Jared. "Okay." Nicole showed him the hand gesture. She then immediately went under the sea. Jared shook his head as he followed her. The seawater was crystal clear. They could see to a great distance. Nicole slowly dived deeper as she enjoyed the beautiful undersea view. Jared watched Nicole as he followed her. There was a flock of yellow and blue color fish hunting for food not far away from them. Nicole did not disturb them. She gently recorded their food hunting process beside them. While she was doing that, a huge sea turtle swam past Nicole. Nicole immediately moved her camera to record it. The sea turtle did not bother her. It swam toward the coral. Nicole stopped following it after a while. She then raised her head to look at the distance from the surface. She could see the beautiful view of the sunlight coming through the water. Nicole waved at Jared. She signaled him to swim nearer to her as she put away her camera. She then turned around to swim freely under the seawater like a mermaid. Jared could not help but freeze as he stared at Nicole, who was swimming. "This is my first time seeing a different Nicole. She looks just like a mermaid." The camera was following Nicole as they dived deeper slowly. The vision underwater slowly darkened. Suddenly, a dark figure swam past Nicole and Jared swiftly. Jared immediately stopped swimming to observe his surroundings. The dark figure moved too fast. They could not see clearly what it was. Jared then swam toward Nicole. He asked her to be careful via sign language. Nicole nodded her head. She looked around to check out the situation. She then swam in the opposite direction. After a while, she saw a colorful fish flock. Nicole excitedly took out her camera to record them. The flock of fish changed its formation constantly. They were very colorful in the seawater. It was spectacular. Nicole was too carried away recording the flock of fish. She did not notice Jared's hand gestures. She had been following the flock of fish. Jared swam very hard to chase after her. Suddenly, a shark appeared in front of Nicole. It swallowed a quarter of the flock of fish. Nicole held her breath immediately. She turned off the light. She did not dare to move. The camera caught the shark clearly. It swam around Nicole in a circle. After that, it swam toward the flock of fish. Jared watched the shark until it disappeared out of his sight. He swam as fast as he could toward Nicole. He comforted Nicole gently. He then swam toward the water surface with her. They stopped at the sea depth, where they could see the sunlight. "Here is safer," Jared told Nicole via sign language. He did not want to let go of Nicole's hand. But Nicole felt it was inconvenient. She then lost his hand and swam in the opposite direction. Jared chased after her immediately. They started a race in the water. After a while, there was a human figure swam toward them. Nicole stared at the figure as it got closer. She asked Jared via sign language, "Didn't you book the club for exclusive use? Did you lie to me?" Jared replied via sign language, "Do you think I'd make this kind of lame joke?" He then carefully observed the figure as it swam closer. "Why is there someone else?" Jared asked via sign language. The human figure was getting closer. Suddenly, Nicole caught a cold light quickly. She immediately held Jared's hand to return to the water surface. Jared knew what Nicole was trying to do. He quickly swam toward the water surface. But the person was too fast. He caught up with them in just a few minutes. Nicole was surprised. This shouldn't happen with my capability. How did he catch up so easily? Just when she thought about that, the person tried to slash Nicole's oxygen pipe. She turned around to dodge it cleverly. There was a cut on her oxygen cylinder. The person attacked Nicole again. Nicole grabbed his hand and took away his weapon. The attacker turned around and tried to escape as he noticed the situation was unfavorable to him. Nicole responded in kind. She cut his oxygen pipe with the dagger. The outlaw desperately swam toward the surface as the water bubbled. Nicole did not bother him. She went to deal with another person. Nicole fought with the outlaw using the dagger in the water. She cut off the outlaw's finger in just a short while. Suddenly, the water around them became red with blood. Nicole and Jared dealt with the rest of them quickly. They then swam toward the water surface actively. Before they reached the surface, a shark carried one of the outlaws covered in blood in its mouth and swam up to the surface. A huge splash of water could be seen. Jared and Nicole did not dare to watch what was happening. They swam toward the shore quickly. A speedboat was speeding toward them. They got onto the speedboat safely. "Quickly return to the shore," Jared ordered as he glanced at the shark behind them. The speedboat speeded toward the shore. The shark was chasing after them. "Get up." Jared took over the driver's seat. He pressed the accelerator pedal. The speedboat accelerated quickly. It then leaped forward on the water's surface. The shark was left behind. After they reached the shore, Jared immediately carried Nicole out of the speedboat. "I can walk." Nicole tried to free herself from Jared. "Don't try to be tough. You're hurt." Jared glanced at Nicole's calf that was hit by the shark. Nicole only realized she was hurt when she looked at her calf with Jared. She knew Jared would not let her walk. She then stopped moving. She let Jared carry her to the lounge. Jared put down Nicole. He had someone to get them a first aid kit. He quickly treated Nicole's injury. He then drove her to the hospital. The doctor carefully treated Nicole's wound in the hospital's VIP ward. "Will it leave a scar?" Jared gave the doctor treating the wound a serious look. "It might leave a shallow scar." Before Nicole could say anything, Jared said seriously, "No. You must get rid of the scar by any means. It can't leave even a tiny scar." The doctor was in a cold sweat suddenly. "Every wound leaves a scar. Mr. Johnston is giving me a hard time." Nicole could tell it was difficult for the doctor to do that. She said, "It won't leave a scar. I have a way." She then glanced at Jared confidently. The doctor looked at Nicole with surprise. "This young lady is good at lying. It might hurt when I put medicine on the wound later. Bear with me." Jared immediately stretched out his hand for Nicole. "Bite my hand if it hurts. You got hurt because I didn't protect you well." Nicole was thankful as she smiled. "Don't cry when I bite your hand later." Jared was heartbroken as he looked at Nicole. He nodded his head. The doctor spread the medical powder to Nicole's wound. He raised his head to look at Nicole. He did not expect Nicole to not frown at all. He said in surprise, "Young lady, you're the toughest person I've ever met. Normally, even guys would scream when they use this medical powder. But you didn't even frown. I'm impressed." Nicole got a thumbs up from the doctor. Treatment had been completed. The doctor left after he advised them on something. Jared looked at Nicole with sympathy. "I'm so sorry for today. You wouldn't be in danger if I didn't give you the surprise. You're even injured now." "It's fine. It's just a minor injury. I'm very happy today." Nicole smiled slightly at Jared. "It's obvious that the attacker's target was you. But why?" Jared could not help but wonder. "I think they were my online jobs competitors. I've beaten them a lot of times these years. They didn't like me long ago." Nicole fabricated an excuse to comfort Jared. After all, He did not know about her other identity. Nicole saw a familiar totem when she was fighting with the attackers in the water. So, she knew exactly who those people that tried to assassinate her were. But it did not bother her. They were no threat to her. The reason was that she had already destroyed those organizations. The attackers were probably the remnants of those organizations hiding in every corner of the world. The remnants were idle in different parts of the world after their organizations were destroyed. They had not forgotten about their organizations. They hated Nicole. They had always been looking for her. They would mess with her whenever there was a chance. They were persistent. I didn't expect them to ruin Jared's surprise. I'm a little banged up. But luckily, Jared is fine. And we had dealt with them successfully. I didn't think they would actually try to kill you just because of failed tasks. Is it possible that they already knew who you are? Jared was worried about Nicole's safety. Impossible. It was just a coincidence. Don't worry about what happened. I can deal with it. The most important thing now is to send me home. Nicole tried to get up as she said that. Jared immediately held her down. I can stay out of this. But you must stay here. I've already talked to your school. You can recuperate here for a few days without any worries. It's just a minor injury. I don't need to rest. Nicole glanced at Jared. But Nicole compromised in the end so Jared could go to work with peace of mind. All right. I'll recuperate here for a few days. You still have a lot of work to do, right? Go on. Jared was relieved. And come up with a reason for your family. All right, don't worry about it. Call me if you need anything. Jared left only after he made sure Nicole was taken care of. Since I can't go home or go to school now, what I can do now is only. Nicole opened her laptop. When she saw multiple alert dialog boxes pop up on her screen, she frowned slightly. However, it was not difficult for her to deal with. She typed on her keyboard with her slender fingers. She resolved the dialog boxes one by one. However, after 5 minutes, alerts popped out again unexpectedly. However, that was not a dialog box. It was rather a defiant, evil smile. It made Nicole, who was experienced, smile. Looks like this isn't a virus. But rather, someone is controlling everything behind. Although her enemy erased his traces very carefully, Nicole managed to find his trace with tiny clues. By following her enemy's operating habits, Nicole deduced her enemy's intention and his next operating point. She was a step ahead of her opponent. She hid a virus in the operating point. Her opponent followed the necessary steps to reach the operating point. Nicole's virus that was placed in advance intruded into her opponent's laptop. It was too late for him to remedy the situation. He watched his laptop explode in front of his eyes. Nicole's task was completed. She secured her big reward. Nicole was very happy. But as she recalled her opponent's techniques, she picked up her phone and sent an ID to Zeke. Find out who's using this ID recently. Martin had just returned to the hospital when he heard the director was looking for him, so he went to the hospital director's office first. Director, you're looking for me? Martin knocked on the unlocked door as he went in. What took you so long? Go and check on Miss Riddle in the VIP room now, the director said with a displeased look. Isn't it just a leg wound? Can't we just get any outpatient MO to see her? Why must it be me? Martin was reluctant. Cut the crap. If the person wasn't a VIP, would I be asking to come back in such a hurry? What are you still standing here for? Go on now. The director urged him. All right, I'll be going. Martin reluctantly made his way towards Nicole's ward. As he pushed open the door, I'm Nicole. Martin looked at the patient sitting on the sick bed in surprise. Martin, why are you here? Nicole was surprised as well. How did he know I was injured? The director got me to come to have a look. Why are you hurt so badly? Martin was stunned and immediately recalled why he had come here for. It's nothing serious. Just a scratch. Nicole said nonchalantly. You call that thick bandage around you just a scratch? Martin frowned as he looked at the thick bandage. Which doctor did this bandage for you? It's too thick. Martin shook his head in dissatisfaction. Seeing that Martin was about to take the bandage off, Nicole tried to stop him. No need for that trouble. It's no trouble. A bandage too thick will affect the healing of your wounds, Martin said as he started to undo the bandage. Soon, the bandage was undone, and Martin inspected the wound before reapplying the bandage after treating it. Done. Martin then cut off the extra bandage with a pair of scissors. Thank you. Nicole noticed that Martin's treatment technique was far better than the earlier doctor's. No worries. Avoid eating spicy stuff for the time being, Martin said as he sat down. Okay. Martin looked at Nicole and asked, if it's not too much to ask, how did you get hurt? *0, one struck something while diving. Nicole could not tell him the truth. You're being way too careless there. Martin looked at her, somewhat distressed. At this moment, the ward door was pushed open. Martin, our experiment. When Joyce opened the door, she saw Martin caring for Nicole. She frowned a little and quickly glanced at Nicole's leg. Nicole? You're hurt. She walked forward and asked. Seeing that Joyce had walked in, Nicole nodded. Why are you here? Martin spoke as if he didn't want Joyce to find him. It's like this. There's a situation in the lab, and I heard you're in the ward, so I came looking for you. What happened? Martin was now very excited to hear any news about his experiment. It's hard for me to put into words. Have a look yourself. Joyce found it difficult to explain. Sigh, let's go. Martin took a couple of steps before seemingly remembering something as he turned toward Nicole. Nicole, I'll come to see you again later. Rest well. After that, he left the room. Joyce glanced at Nicole with a displeased look. He had never been so gentle or caring to me before, and now he's caring about Nicole so much. This pisses me off. After the two left, Nicole went back to rest, and soon it was nighttime. Someone knocked on the door. Come in. Martin came in with a container of hot soup. Isn't that soup? Nicole looked at the flask and guessed. You can tell? Wow. Martin then opened the thermos container and handed it to her. Nicole was flabbergasted. This kind of thermos container was all too common, and no one used it for anything but to store soup. Did you make this yourself? Nicole carried the bowl as she asked. How I wished I could cook for you, but my culinary skills are quite wanting. Martin let out a helpless sigh. Give it a taste. Is it good? Nicole gave it a gentle sip and said, Not bad. Thanks. Seeing that she liked the soup he got for her, Martin too was very happy. Just as the two were chatting, someone knocked on the door. Come in. The two thought that it would be the doctor on duty. However, it was Joyce who came in. Before Nicole could even speak, Martin asked, Why are you here again? Don't you need to supervise the lab? Joyce ignored Martin's question as she smiled and came before Nicole's bed. Nicole, I was afraid you were not used to the food in the hospital, so I made dinner for you. Martin gave Joyce a curious look. She was still in the lab when he left, so how could she have the time to make dinner for Nicole? In fact, Nicole had had dinner, and they were food delivered by Jared's staff, but out of courtesy, she still tasted the food Joyce brought over. After taking a bite, Nicole smiled and put the food aside. This is clearly food bought from outside. Why did she say that she made it herself? Thinking of this, Nicole looked at Joyce. When she saw the latter's eyes looking at Martin from time to time, Nicole smirked as she understood Joyce's reason for coming here. However, Martin treated Joyce like she was transparent as he continued talking to Nicole. Seeing that Martin ignored her, Joyce cast her gaze on Nicole and inevitably felt envious. Seeing that Martin was so caring towards Nicole, Joyce felt bitter. Nicole is already engaged to Jared, so why is she being all amorous with Martin? Thinking of this, she could not stand it anymore as she interjected, Martin, Nicole may only be wounded in the leg, but she still could use more rest. Won't we disturb her if we continue to stay here? After hearing what Joyce said, he looked at Nicole. She's right. You should rest. We'll be heading off first then, rest well. All right. Bye. Nicole saw the two off. She knew very well what Joyce was implying. Ever since that day, Martin was not in the lab but rather in her ward, and Joyce witnessed it all as her jealousy gradually evolved into hatred. On this day, Martin pushed the medicine cart over as usual to change her bandage. "How are you feeling today?" he asked. "Very good. Seems like I can get off the bed and walk already." Nicole had been dying to give it a try. "Seems like you can't stay still any longer, huh?" "Don't fret. I'll examine it now." Martin comforted her and then started to examine the wound. As the bandages were removed, the wound was in good shape. "Your intuition is on point. Once I apply the medicine, you can get off the bed and do some gentle exercises." "Awesome. Your hospital's medicine is pretty good." They were only slightly inferior to hers, and if it were not for the fact that Nicole was unable to find those reagents, she would have long been healed. "Of course, I was the one who formulated these medicines," Martin said proudly. And just as they two were talking, Joyce walked in. "Martin, the difference between the note you've given me earlier and this one is too great. If we were to use this one to do our tests, problems would certainly occur." Joyce frowned as she questioned him. "Why do you have so many questions? Just test it based on what is on the note," Martin hissed irritably. The two had already quarreled in the morning due to some equipment matters, and he did not expect her to argue with him in Nicole's ward. "But the materials," Joyce still wanted to explain, but Martin brusquely interrupted her. "Enough. Am I the lead, or are you the leader of this research?" Martin grabbed the note off Joyce's hand as he stormed out. Joyce did not expect Martin to yell at her in front of Nicole. She then turned to the latter and screamed, "It's all because of you." Then, it was Joyce's turn to storm out furiously. Nicole sighed, feeling somewhat amused. "He clearly doesn't like you, but you're forcing yourself on him, so who's to blame if you get scolded then?" Just as she was about to look away, she caught sight of the note on the ground from the corner of her eyes. Nicole was curious. What is it that drove the usually humble and polite Martin into a frenzy? She gently got off the bed. Still standing on 2 feet on the ground feels best. She slowly walked over and gave the note a glance after picking it up. "Oh, so that's why." Martin immediately got into his car and left the hospital after storming out of Nicole's room, while Joyce ran to the rooftop to vent before returning to the lab to continue working. The next day, Martin appeared at Nicole's ward as usual. After recomposing himself, he knocked on the door and entered. "Good morning, Nicole." Martin greeted her as normal, but he consciously avoided eye contact with her. Nicole did not bring up what happened yesterday as she went. "I can get off the bed already. I still need to thank you for taking care of me for the past few days." "What are you doing being so polite to me for?" "Elle will have an event that I must attend in the hospital tomorrow, so I won't be able to change your bandage for you. But I'll get a good doctor to do it for you." Martin had already informed a colleague of his on this. "You should have long handed this over to someone else. Having you personally change my bandage is a gross misuse of your talents," Nicole quipped. Martin smiled as he looked at the beautiful Nicole. His heart subconsciously skipped a beat, and his face quickly turned red. "Martin, why is your face so red? Are you unwell?" When Nicole saw that Martin's face suddenly turned red, she thought he had an allergic reaction. "No, it's nothing. It's probably just the room being a little warm. I'll go take some wind." Martin used the opportunity to go to the window to calm himself down. "Nicole, I actually have something that I've been welling up inside me, and I have no one to talk to about it. I feel like I'm being crushed." Martin took a deep breath as he looked outside the window. Nicole could guess that it was and said, "Sometimes, the success or failure of a matter isn't that important. Enjoy the process and do your best." Martin turned towards Nicole and smiled warmly at her. "Look at this. Perhaps you won't be that stressed after that." Nicole handed the note in her hand to him. "What is this?" Martin looked at the note in her hand in confusion. "Do you want me to keep holding it up like this?" Martin immediately walked over to take the note in her hand. As he glanced at the note, he said, "Isn't this my note?" Someone has changed something here. Martin fell into deep thought when he saw the note. I changed it. Nicole calmly explained it to him. You did. Martin looked at Nicole before turning his gaze onto the note. Brilliant, just brilliant. Why didn't I think of this? I'll head off first, Nicole. I'll come back again later. The flames in Martin came back alive as he could not wait to go back to the lab and test it out, according to the note amended by Nicole. A few hours later, the excited voice of someone in the corridor got closer and closer. The next moment, a figure rushed into Nicole's room and hugged her tightly at lightning speed. Nicole! It worked! It worked! Martin yelled in excitement. At this moment, the person he wanted to share the good news with was Nicole. Let me go first. Nicole was close to suffocating. Oh, my bad. I got too excited. Having realized what he was doing, he immediately let Nicole go. Nicole, you're literally brilliant. I just gave the amended note a test, and it actually worked. I never thought that the experiment that I have been cracking my head over hundreds of times would succeed the moment I meet you. You are my lucky star, Nicole. In Martin's eyes, Nicole was dazzling bright. Compared to Martin, Nicole was much, much calmer. You're your own lucky star. This is the fruit of your labor, the result of your toil. No, the success of the experiment has everything to do with you. Nicole did not try denying him anymore. She knew that Martin was still at the excitement stage of success. He had, after all, been under pressure for so long and needed to release it. Nicole, since you can get off the bed now, let's go out to celebrate for a bit. Oh right, I need to go back to the lab for a while. I'll come and get you right away. Wait for me. Martin did not give Nicole any room to refuse him as he immediately left for the lab after saying all that. Nicole looked on helplessly at Martin's back as she shook her head. Since things had already proceeded to this stage, it would not do for her to break Martin's excitement. She simply packed up and put on simple makeup. After all, she had been too carefree in her days in the hospital. Yet, Joyce had witnessed everything happening inside the room. Her hands under her furious face had turned pale from clenching. At the lab entrance, just as Martin stepped out of it, he ran into Joyce with an unhappy face. I'm heading out for a bit. Go and get the wrap-up report for the latter section done. Martin handed over the wrapping-up work to Joyce. Are you going out with Nicole? Joyce's mind was clouded, and she did not even listen to what Martin had just said as she asked him. Yeah, so finish up the wrapping-up job, okay? Martin did not hide it as he reminded her. I want to go too. Huh? What for? There's plenty of things that require you to wrap up. Martin glared at her, not wanting Joyce to interrupt his celebration with Nicole. Joyce's gaze turned bitter. All these while I've been helping you with everything, and now that the experiment is successful, you're celebrating it with someone else? I've given my all for this experiment, so why I don't have a place in this celebration? Joyce stepped forward and blocked Martin's path as she questioned him. I'll admit that you've contributed much to this experiment, but who didn't? I'm just going out to relax now. We'll hold a celebration party later, and I'll be sure to invite you then, so please stand aside. Martin said as he walked around Joyce towards Nicole's wardroom. Joyce could not believe what Martin had just said as she stood there stunned, looking at his departing figure. She then went straight into the lab hissing, Martin, you forced my hand. Thanks for waiting, let's go. Martin walked up and carefully helped Nicole to walk. At the restaurant, Martin gentlemanly pulled the chair for Nicole. The ambience of this restaurant is pretty good, the food is delicious too. I heard that stars would often come here to eat, said Martin. Nicole looked around. It's pretty good, but more importantly, it's very quiet. It's very nice to watch the scenery from here. Martin, you must have come here a lot to view the scenery, right? Nicole looked outside and praised the scenery. That sure did not escape your eyes. You're right. I'll order a glass of red wine to enjoy the view here every time I'm stressed out, and I'll sit here for the whole day. As he said that, he took a sip of his wine. This is indeed a good place to relax. I will make it a point to come here often to relax, said Nicole. Sure, we can come here together next time, then Martin smiled gently at her. Nicole continued to watch the scenery without responding. She liked this place, but she did not say that she wanted to be together with him here. The waiter came over with the dishes, and a sharp gaze looked at the table Nicole was seated. Nicole? Martin. Why are the two of them together? Chloe immediately took out a phone and took a couple of pictures before sending it over to Jared. Grinning widely, Chloe put on her sunglasses as she glanced in Nicole's direction before leaving. Jared was in the midst of work when his phone suddenly rang. His gaze swept across the screen. A surprise. Jared frowned a little and wondered who was playing a prank that got sent to him as he irritably turned off the screen and continued to work. An assistant came in to confirm his schedule, and it only then did Jared pick up his phone to look at his calendar. After his assistant had left, the unread message kept flashing on his screen, and he could not help but press on it. The moment he saw the pictures, Jared's eyes darkened as he picked up his jacket and left the office. The car stopped at the entrance of the building, and the valet came over to open his door. Jared tossed his car keys over and walked straight to the elevator. Nicole and Martin were chatting on and off when a tall figure walked out of the door towards her position. "Your leg has healed." As she suddenly heard a familiar voice, Nicole turned back to look at the person speaking. "Jared? Why are here? Aren't you working now?" Nicole had not seen him for a few days now and was quite pleased to see him out of the blue. "Mr. Johnston." Martin stood up and greeted him. Jared nodded before continuing to speak to Nicole. "I am working, but I got a little hungry, so I came over to have something to eat." "The two of you are?" He then looked at the two of them. "Martin's experiment was a success, and we are celebrating here." Nicole could sense Jared's jealousy and quickly explained. She knew that his office was quite a distance away from there. "Let's sit down together." Before Jared could respond, Nicole pulled his arm to get him to sit. Martin looked awkwardly at the two. He felt a bit uncomfortable, but he could not say anything about chasing Jared away. He knew that doing that would just make Nicole hate him. Originally, he hoped to get closer to Nicole through this meal, but Jared's appearance completely turned that on its head. Looking at the two talking and laughing, he picked up his wine glass and enjoyed the scene outside as he sipped on it. It was another day, and Nicole was surfing the net in the ward as she waited for the doctor to change her bandage. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. "Come in." Looking at the person pushing the medicine cart, Nicole was quite surprised. "You're changing my bandage for me?" Joyce noticed Nicole's confusion and explained, "There's an activity in the hospital today, and the doctor who was supposed to attend to you was called away at the last minute, so I'm here in his place." Nicole nodded. It was the same if anyone changed her bandage. It made no difference to her. "I heard Martin say that you can be discharged tomorrow." Joyce walked over and prepared to change Nicole's bandage. "Really? That's great. Why aren't you participating in the event today? Changing the bandage should be left to the nurses." Nicole asked. "They are all important people in the hospital, so they need to prepare the speech in advance. It's fine if I'm a bit late. Moreover, you're a very important patient, and you're also Martin's friend. I'm a bit worried if it's the nurse who is changing your bandage." Nicole did not mind it as she put down her laptop and watched Joyce change the bandage. "I heard that you went out for a meal with Martin." "Martin wanted me to join in, but I had the wrapping up job to do, so I didn't accompany you too." "Was it fun?" Joyce withstood the pain in her heart as she smiled and looked at Nicole's face. "Oh, it was quite fun." When she heard the words fun, Joyce's hand shuddered and accidentally touched Nicole's wound. "Hiss. I'm sorry. Did it hurt?" Joyce's nervous hands trembled even more. "I'm fine. Don't worry. Go ahead and apply the medicine." Nicole even comforted her. Joyce picked up the wound-corroding medicine she had prepared earlier and opened the bottle to apply it to Nicole's wound. Nicole's keen eyes immediately noticed that this was a different medicine than the one Martin had previously formulated, and she asked, "Did the medicine change?" When Nicole asked that question, Joyce, who was self-conscious, almost spilled the medicine all over the bed. She then stuttered as she tried to explain. Martin said the wound is almost healed, and to change to this medicine to get rid of the scar." Nicole looked at Joyce, acting strange. Her series of actions since she entered her room had been very abnormal, and her intuition told her that Joyce was acting very strange today. What? Nicole stopped Joyce's hand. At this moment, Joyce's heart was pounding very hard. What's the matter, Nicole? Can I have a look at the medicine in your hand? Nicole hesitated a little before asking. She wanted to ascertain her guess and did not want to have a misunderstanding. This is a scar removal medicine Martin had formulated. Many people had used it already. There's no problem with it. Joyce thought that Nicole would lower her guard if she mentioned that it was Martin's medicine. Yet, she did not expect Nicole to insist on taking a look at the ointment. It's fine. She's just a student. She won't find out even if I show it to her. Joyce handed the bottle to Nicole. When Nicole picked it up and had a look, she was shocked. She was very familiar with this pungent smell, and as it was dissolved in other substances, most of its smell had already been masked, yet, its efficacy was not reduced. Nicole had managed to distinguish it through its subtle scent, but if it was anyone else, they would not have been able to tell the difference. Nicole gazed deeply at Joyce. I'll give you one more chance. What is this? Joyce frowned imperceptibly as she calmly looked at Nicole. Nicole, what are you talking about? Seems like you really don't know when to call it quits. Since you say this is Martin's medicine, then let's get him to confirm it. Nicole took out her phone and sent Martin a text. Martin and the hospital director were seated together, answering the reporter's interview questions. His phone suddenly rang, and upon seeing that it was from Nicole, he whispered into the director's ears before getting up to leave. Many reporters started to ask, Dr. Wyance, please stay. We still have some questions to ask you. The director immediately got up to help. Dear members of the press, Dr. Wyance is going to handle an emergency case. I'll be answering everyone's questions in his place. Martin hurried to Nicole's ward upon seeing her message and saw Joyce standing by the side the moment he got in. He ignored her and walked straight toward Nicole. What's the matter, Nicole? What happened? Martin looked at Nicole, bewildered. Have a look at this first. Nicole calmly handed the bottle to him. Is there a problem? Martin took over the medicine in puzzlement before taking a look. Hydrochloric acid? What's this? Martin looked at Nicole in shock. Why is there such a highly corrosive material in her ward? Ask her yourself. Nicole looked at Joyce standing by the side. Martin's eyes narrowed as he walked to Joyce's side and asked, Did you bring this medicine here? What are you doing bringing this here? And why are you here? Martin tossed out 3 questions in quick succession, making it difficult for Joyce to answer him. Upon seeing Joyce trembling and not saying a word, Martin got even more furious. Are you a log or something? What are you standing there for? Answer me, damn you. Seeing that she refused to talk, Martin could only turn towards Nicole. Nicole, what's going on? It's clear that she wants to use this medicine on mine. She said it's a special scar-removing medicine you've made. How's your leg? Martin subconsciously wanted to check the wound on her leg in a fit of panic. No need. I saw through that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be calling you here to confirm things. Martin listened to what Nicole said and was completely disappointed with Joyce. He never thought that the usually good-natured Joyce would one day harm others, more so Nicole. Martin, I can explain. Joyce stepped forward and grabbed Martin's arm. Martin violently swung his arm away, sending Joyce to the ground. From now on, you are no longer a member of the lab. Get lost from my sight. Martin. Joyce still wanted to make one final defense for herself. Get lost. Don't ever let me see you again. Martin did not deign to look at her as he tremblingly pointed towards the door. Nicole, I hate you. Martin, you can ask me to get lost today, but someday, you'll come back to beg for me. Joyce wiped her tears off as she got up and ran out of the door. After Joyce had left, Martin was so remorseful he dared not look Nicole in the eyes as Joyce had almost ruined Nicole's leg. I'm sorry, Nicole. I was a poor judge of character and almost caused you irreversible harm. I'm so sorry. Martin did not look at Nicole as he bowed toward her. You don't need to. Just as Nicole was about to help him up, Martin took a few steps back before walking out of the room with his head down. Ever since that day, Nicole did not see Martin again until the day she was discharged from the hospital. Jared gave some explanations about the work that needed to be done and then drove to the hospital to pick Nicole up. "Mr. Jared, I thought you were busy. How did you find time to pick me up?" Her words seeped with dissatisfaction. "You may not know, but I actually took the time out from my pile of work." "Since you don't have time, there's no need to pick me up," she sounded jealous as she said.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.